going live. Okay, you're live. So, how's it going? We're gonna try something. Okay. Okay, boom. So we're gonna. Okay, I just missed a button. But we have that taken care of now. So, hey, we're just gonna watch a few videos, and just chill out. You know what I mean?
And I'm not.
You should be able to hear that.
Not bragging. It's just that I didn't believe in Santa. And I'm not bragging. It's just that I didn't believe in Santa Claus at 2.5, and nobody had to tell me. I'm not bragging here, but not everybody's family found in Texas. Again, I'm not bragging to say that things I've coined become popular parlance. I'm not bragging, but aren't those some big pecs? I'm not bragging when Jeff Bridges calls me. I knew Vladimir Putin listened on a routine basis. That's not bragging. I'm not bragging. I really have read thousands of books. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not some pseudo-intellectual here. I'm not bragging either. I can pretty much speed read. So I've read, let's not exaggerate. I'm not bragging. I just keep saying hundreds. It sounds like an exaggeration. I've probably read 200 naval history books of the U.S., England, France, China, Japan, the Netherlands, the Romans, the Greeks. I mean, I really got into naval stuff for some reason. I know about the maps of the South China Sea. I'm not bragging. I just know it in my head. And I'm not bragging. I mean, it's a fact, folks. I can think 50 levels up, okay? I'm not bragging. It's just a fact. Not bragging. Again, I'm not bragging. This isn't Alex Jones's head got big. Man, I'm not bragging saying I'm Mr. Cool. The only reason I've always been the coolest guy around. When I was 12, and I'm not bragging, this is a normal behavior, I was going after women. I mean, I'm not bragging, but I was 14 dating college chicks. I'm not bragging. I can't help it. I start just saying, here's $50 bills. You ladies all have whatever you want. This is big mojo, okay? I mean, I'm not bragging. I just want you to get the newsflash here. I am the person that popularized the term false flag. Chuck Norris listens to us almost every day. He's not bragging about Chuck Norris. And I'll guarantee you I'm a lot stronger than Hillary. I'm not bragging, but I'm a lot stronger than her. I mean, I don't have any fear. I'm not bragging. It's weird, actually. I wish I had fear. I'm not bragging. It's just really good to be in this position. Truth is, I'm extremely vicious. Yeah, I'm not bragging. A lot of men are like that, but I mean, I'm crazy. I mean, it's, I got tricks 1,000 times more vicious. The problem is I don't want to release this stuff on the earth, and I'm not bragging. I'm like a gorilla. I'm not bragging. I mean, it's like a war machine if I get in a fight. I'm not bragging. I mean, I'm not bragging, but I would literally have just absolutely devastated all those people in about 10 seconds. If I was to hit somebody 20 times, they'd probably die. I can punch pretty hard, not bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm just an average guy, but I got in fights in high school. Punch me, I punch you back. And then I slam your head in the concrete. I'm not bragging, but I come from super Texas, hillbilly, you name it. Basically killers. I'm very proud of it. And we're not bragging about it. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. It's just day one. I told you 2 months before it was coming, they were going to blow up the World Trade Center, blaming on bin Laden. I'm not bragging about me, and I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging. We game changed the presidency. World leaders listen, and all the major intelligence agencies listen, and the Pentagon listens, and everybody else listens. I'm not bragging. It's a fact. I mean, I'm not bragging. It's just, and I'm not bragging. A lot of folks in the grassroots are bringing this to Trump, but we brought it directly to it. Oprah Winfrey is coming. And I'm not bragging. I don't like saying nobody else has done the research we've done on her. I'm not bragging, but just about general concepts. I can sit around and talk about quantum mechanics and M theory with people. I'm sitting with William Benny and I go, but doesn't a hologram of a mathematical equation of something with that much data create mathematically its own mass and create a distortion mirror of the sub-key, a projection of the dark matter coding? And he was just like, I'm not talking about classified stuff. And I said, I don't want to know classified stuff. And he was, and of course, Buckley's real smart, and people were there. They're like, but Alex, what are you getting into? And I just suddenly understood I just started spouting this stuff off. I don't even know how I know all this stuff, folks. Half the time I just start spewing out of my mouth. And, but I know that in the universe, they look at older parts of it and it's distorted and matter moves at a different rate. I know that with the mathematical equations of a French physicist, I forget his name. I'm not a violent person. But I'll tell you what, when somebody attacks you and breaks your nose and you punch them and their nose rips off their face. I mean, the cartilage came out, nose is like hanging. It's just like victory. Hand. What happens, Wolf Blitzer, when somebody pumps rounds into your little pumpkin head? I will volunteer when they get convicted to kick that switch and hang their ass. In fact, I want to kill you, and you understand that I want to destroy you. Maybe I'll just break your jaw. It's kind of like a trick breaking somebody's jaw. It's almost like it's magic. You just got to punch full power, totally relaxed, punch right in the side, and just go, yeah! And then the jaw breaks most of the time. Eminem, you're not going to do nothing, you little wimp punk. I want to break your jaw and grab it with my hands and rip the mandible off your head. I want to bash your brains out. I want to bring you low. You're going to get it. I'm your worst nightmare, and you know it. You're going to get it real good, real hard, real long. I'm ready for whatever you do to me. Pizzagate, as it's called, is a rabbit hole that is horrifying to go down. You have to go investigate it for yourself. You say it, and I find you on the street, I'm going to break your nose. You understand that? Because I've had enough of your crap. Put down your thesaurus, look in the mirror, realize you're a traitor, and do the right thing, and put a 357 Magnum to your head and blow what's little left of your brains all over yourself, okay? Schiff looks like the archetypal cocksucker. That'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. I don't want to kill anybody. But I'm sick and tired of being pushed around. Let me tell you something. 60 years ago, he would be in front of a firing squad in about a month. Just walk up to Robert De Niro, because I know he acts tough in movies, and I break his nose. Squad in about a month. Pushed around. Let me tell you something. 60 years ago, he would be in front of a firing squad in about. That'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. I don't want to kill anybody. But I'm sick and tired of being pushed around. Let me tell you something. 60 years ago, he would be in front of a firing squad in about a month. Just walk up to Robert De Niro, because I know he acts tough in movies, and I break his nose. I'll say I'm going to do that. But I walk right up, and I punch him up under the nose and actually tear his nose completely off his face. I want to knock their teeth out. Alec Baldwin thinks he's a tough guy. I challenge him $1 million, the charity he wants, to get in the ring with me. Bare knuckle. In fact, I'll challenge that host to a boxing match. Bare knuckle. I'm offering $1 million to Stelter to bare knuckles box me. Stelter, you will fall. I mean, he looks like a pretty tough guy. Doesn't matter. I'll knock his teeth out and break his nose. I will. I'll do it right now. I'll get in the ring with you, and I will break your jaw. I will knock your teeth out. I will break your nose, and I will break your neck. I know that I want to punch you in the nose. You understand? And when I want to punch somebody in the nose, I don't ever lose. Get in a ring with me. I will break your jaw in seconds. I will smash your nose into a bloody pulp, and I will rack your teeth out. My fists are going to be bleeding with your teeth marks all over them. You freaking bully, you coward. I wish Jake Weber would do the things and say the things he says I'm saying to my face. Man up. Meet me out in the parking lot somewhere. Get in the ring with me, and I will stomp your ass into the ground. I've always been Mr. Peace. These people are out of control.
Control.
Welcome back to Reliable Sources. I'm Brian Stelter, live from Washington, D.C.
All right, so I hate to just stop it so short, but again, this was just a test to make sure that things are working. So in the future, when we have like another playlist or something that we want to share, that we'll be able to do so without any kinds of hiccups. So, you know, if we're gonna watch any one video more, let's check this out. I love the end.
Therapy has always been such a scary idea to me because I simply did not know where to get started. I didn't know how to find my person. I did not know where to go.
Piers Morgan was on CNN.
Anyone who's watched this show over the past few weeks knows I've taken a pretty strong stand on guns in America.
Yeah,
I gave a notice of supporters of gun rights, and it's led to a petition on the White House official website, no less. It's entitled, I quote, "Deport British citizen Piers Morgan for attacking Second Amendment." Take a look. More than 104,000 people have signed it so far. And joining me now is one of the people behind the petition, Alex Jones. He's host of the Alex Jones Show. Welcome to you.
Piers, thanks for having me.
Why do you want to deport me?
Well, we did it as a way to bring attention to the fact that we have all of these foreigners and the Russian government, the official Chinese government. Mao said political power goes out of the barrel of a gun. He killed about 80 million people because he's the only guy that had the guns. So we did it to point out that this is globalism and the mega banks that control the planet and brag that they've taken over in Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, you know.
Real quick. So we know we don't like to get political, but we're watching this for the humor in it, and the humor comes at the end. where it just totally derails this interview.
Amen. Brag that they're going to get our guns as well. They've taken everybody's guns but the Swiss and the American people. And when they get our guns, they can have their world tyranny while the government buys 1.6 billion bullets, armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predator drones, armed, now in U.S. skies, being used to arrest people in North Dakota. The Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. Take the women in India. Your piece earlier on CNN I was watching during Anderson Cooper's show didn't tell you that the women of India have signed giant petitions to get firearms because the police can't and won't protect them. The answer is, hey, wait a minute, I have FBI crime statistics that come out a year late, 2011. 20+% crime drop in the last 9 years. Real violent crime, because more guns means less crime. Britain took the guns 15, 16 years ago, tripling of your overall violent crime. True, we have a higher gun violence level, but overall mugging, stabbings, deaths, those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod 4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic.
You finished?
Yes, I am finished. You will not take my life. You go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know, that's a big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, whoa, got to cut that off, don't you? Don't want to talk about the U.S. number one cause of death is suicide now because they give people suicide mass murder pills.
Calm down.
Your answer is give more money to the psychiatrists and psychologists to put more crazy people on drugs that make them kill people, Pierce.
Let's try and have a debate here.
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
I'm sick of the same old script here, bud.
It's fine, bud. How many gun murders were there in America last year? Do you know?
There were about 11,458, and about 74% of those were gang-related, gangbangers shooting each other. You get 3,500 to 4,000. How many people died from infections in hospitals? 197,000.
Let me just ask you a second.
That's right.
How many gun murders were there in Britain?
How many great white sharks?
No, how many
kill people every year, but they're scared to swim?
Right. How many gun murders were there in Britain?
A very low amount. I already went over those statistics.
Many, do you know?
I was only a few hundred.
No. How many gun murders?
I actually did pull up the statistics. Here, let me pull them out right here. I figured you'd do that.
Gun murders
in
Britain last year.
UK violent crime, capital of Europe. London Telegraph. Here, let me give you more.
It's quite a simple question.
Well, that's the oldest.
You're very loud,
that's the oldest Perry Mason tactic to ask me some little factoid.
It's not a little factoid.
I already said earlier,
We're talking about
England has a lot lower gun crime rate because you took all the guns.
Let me try exactly.
But you've got hordes of people burning down cities and beating old women's brains out every day.
What a ridiculous
They arrest people in England if they defend themselves. That's on record. My God, you've got a total police state. Everybody's fleeing that country because you've had to flee here, bud. And I want to say this right here. You think you're a tough guy? Have me back with a boxing ring in here, and I'll wear red, white, and blue, and you can wear your Jolly Roger.
Okay.
You know,
let's try again. How many gun murders were there?
Oh, you're going to ban your fist now?
In Britain last year.
How many chimpanzees can dance on the head of a pin? I already went over those statistics.
Do you know the answer?
No, I don't.
You said hundreds.
It's very low.
You said hundreds.
Yes.
It's actually 35.
Well, the point is you can
against 11,000. Do you understand the difference between 11,000?
Yeah, England wants
35.
to ban knives now because tens of thousands are getting stabbed.
But do you understand the difference?
The knife doesn't kill people.
Do you understand?
The gun doesn't kill people.
Yes.
Listen, do you understand you're not going to pull on America's heartstrings? They know your script, okay? You're not going to get our guns. By the way, you guys always say, we just want to take the semi-autos, okay, and all this other stuff. When semi-autos aren't even, rifles aren't even used, but in a fraction of the crimes, you can pull those numbers up, okay? No, hold on.
Let me ask you one question. Which weapon was predominantly used in the Aurora movie theater shooting?
M4 AR-15 variants.
So it was a semi-automatic
Yes,
assault rifle.
again.
Okay.
But
next question.
statistically, it's very, very low.
That was. Do you agree it was the single biggest shooting in the history of America in terms of people hit by a shooter? Do you know that?
No, I believe that there were others. There's been some other shootings with about over 30.
No. This was the single biggest mass shooting.
Well, listen, you're just going. No, there have been bombings of Wall Street.
Let me ask you a second.
Are we going to listen? Why can't the pilots have firearms? We trust them to fly the planes.
Alex, you've had a lot to say.
No,
Just
my point
answer
is the
question.
Second Amendment is sacrosanct,
Do you know,
and you're not getting it.
Do you know which weapon was used in the Oregon shopping mall mass shooting recently?
I understand that people who are mentally ill on all the serotonin reuptake inhibitors who play these shoot 'em up games want to go out and do this. Because there's criminals, I don't lose my rights, Pierce. Because there's criminals, I don't lose my rights.
Just answer the question.
Yeah.
Do you know what the weapon used was?
Listen, let me ask you a question.
No, answer.
I've got the FBI statistics that, that these so-called semi-autos that you talk about.
Let's take a break. When we come back.
Again, you're not going to get the guns.
When we come back, try and answer my question.
Yeah, all you're going to do is sit there and play little factoid questions. Overall crime has gone up over 20%.
Oh, that's not the.
Listen, you want to skip this ad. I would too. But what if I told you there's a skip ads
to invade the head of the visa department.
Inside your brain.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this
I'm
the
serious.
end? This might be the end. This might be what we thought it was.
Here's how this is going to work, and it's entirely down to you. I'm going to ask you some questions in the spirit of a proper debate, and you've had a lot to say so far on the show, a lot of it aimed at me, which is fine. But I want you to try and answer the questions. It's a proper debate, okay? I'm not trying to trip you up.
No, it's not a debate. You're running the show. You bring in your victims up front.
Actually, no.
Look, you got your little note cards.
Yeah, okay.
I just gave you FBI statistics that violent crime and gun crime is down over 20%.
Alex, let me just ask you
And
this.
you want to go to little factoids.
No, they're not little
Anybody
factoids.
can pull those up. Listen.
Do you know what...
Do you have a bodyguard?
Alex.
Why do you have bodyguards?
I don't have a bodyguard.
Yeah, I've seen you on the news with them. Don't you want to protect your life from hoodlums, or you want to call the police?
Let me ask you this question.
Why does Dianne Feinstein tell 60 Minutes that she plans to try to take Mr. and Mrs. America's guns?
Stop talking over me.
You guys want to disarm all of America.
No, I don't.
Dianne Feinstein's bill does
I don't.
gun confiscation.
No, let me clarify for you. You don't seem to understand
First you register, then you confiscate. It's always done the same.
Here's what the campaign on
Well,
this
here, give me your little cue cards and I'll answer your questions for
What
you.
was the weapon used at Sandy Hook?
I've already gone over that and already answered it for
We
you.
haven't talked about Sandy Hook.
No, again,
What was the weapon?
It's a 223 M4.
Right.
Again, but statistically, they're using very low percentage of shootings.
But
period.
are you
but
seeing?
You guys,
are you seeing
people
a pattern?
wouldn't go swimming because the movie Jaws, even though great white sharks kill 5 people a year.
Alex,
you're trying to scare people.
Let me say something.
There's no metal shark in the water.
The same type of weapon was used in the last 3
and that's right.
mass shootings.
And Hitler used semi-autos to kill people.
Why would you
and
not?
So did Mao.
Why would you?
Why is the government armed to the teeth against us?
Alex, I don't
What
know.
about Fast and Furious?
Alex,
why do our government ship guns into Mexico?
Alex,
to blame the Second Amendment?
Let's have a debate.
A false flag?
Alex,
to blame the Second Amendment?
I get accused.
Why they blow up Building 7 down the street here in New York?
I get accused when I get you guys on of talking over you, of being rude. I'm trying to be civil, right? You've got to try and answer some of the questions, right? Here's my issue for you. Why do civilians need an AR-15 type assault rifle? Why
I already said statistically they're used in a very low amount of the crimes. That's an FBI fact.
They've been used in the last 3 mass shootings.
Yes.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because they advertise.
So we're gonna cut into this with a little story here. So I was at a poker table one time, and there was an English fellow playing cards, and he was telling me he always visits the States. And I've never been to England, so never been to Europe. So I had some questions, right? And I was asking about their kind of what kind of wildlife do they have? And they don't have a lot, apparently. No moose, no bears, panthers, jaguar, nothing. And somehow this dude started talking about the guns here and why do we need them? And I told him, I said, hey, Imagine I'm in the bush and I come across a moose and it becomes a violent, big animal, 8 feet tall. Let's say I just start shooting at, to try and live. And then before I can get my wits back about me, a bear comes, a long way, and I gotta, eliminate the bear, and then, all kinds of different things. So there's why do you need a big weapon? I mean, we got some serious wildlife out here. Gotta be prepared if you go out there. You kill something, another predator is gonna come and try and get it. It can happen. But rather have it not need it than need it not have it.
Is it in the media? Anybody knows that if somebody jumps off the Empire State Building, they put cops up there the next day because copycats come to do it again. The media hypes and hypes and hypes.
That's not the question.
Don't just commit suicide.
Alex, why do people
Don't commit suicide by killing a bunch of kids. And here's the gun to use because it's the one the U.S. Army uses.
Why do people need them?
They need them to protect us from the #1 killer in history. Government in the 20th century, university study out of Hawaii killed 292 million people. It's called democide. Google it, folks.
Do you believe everyone in America, should everyone in America, therefore, have an AR-15 if they want one?
Statistically, where there's more guns, there's lower crime. The highest crime is in Bloomberg,
But you have the most
controlled
guns
areas.
of any of the 23 richest countries in the world. And you have 20.
Well, America was born on guns and whiskey.
Right. But
it's true we're a violent society.
Right. So you
but
accept that America has the most
knives kill 3 times more. Have you seen the FBI numbers? Knives, bats, rocks kill many times more.
Alex, let's talk about the guns.
It's not the rock. It's not the knife. When a mother chops her kids up with a cleaver because she's on serotonin.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Why don't you want to get rid of the drugs? Because they're half your sponsors?
Stick to the subject.
America's #1 cause of unnatural death now is suicide.
Alex,
not automobile accident, not cancer,
accuse me of attacking the Second Amendment of the Constitution.
I want to get people off pills that the insert says will make you commit suicide and kill people.
Alex, let's get about the Second
I
Amendment.
want to blame the real culprit. Suicide pills. Mass
Get
murder
the Alex
pills.
counter.
Let me ask you one question. Your belief, unless I'm wrong.
First time anybody's ever heard this, by the way.
Your belief, unless I'm wrong, is that under the Second Amendment, your real concern is that you will be overrun by a tyrannical regime, either from somewhere else.
Yeah, highway
or from your own government.
checkpoints. Look at Mexico. Total gun ban for the citizens. Highest crime rate in the world. 57,000 people dead the last 5 years. Total gun ban for the citizens.
But
Switzerland has the lowest crime rate in Europe. Your country has the highest.
Alex, we have 35 gun murders a year, 11,000.
You people get their brains. It's the higher crime rate.
Let me ask you,
violent crime is higher.
On this specific,
it's brains.
Alex,
it's people.
I'm trying to get inside your brains.
If you punch me right now, it'd be not your fist, but your brain that did it.
Let me get inside your brain.
Okay.
I'm serious. You have a very, very big platform. You air, I think, on 63 networks.
No, that Wikipedia is like 10 years old. I'm on over 140 stations. XM.
Millions of Americans hear you.
Over 1.5 million
day.
visitors. Infowars.com
Right.
today. Where we have the statistics posted right now. Infowars.com.
Who do you believe was behind 9/11?
Oh, I absolutely know. I have the police on CNN saying, get back, they're going to blow up 7. I have BBC reporting.
Who do you believe is behind
I have the proof. I heard them on CBS Radio.
Who, Alex?
They announced they blew up the towers on CBS Radio. New Yorkers all saw it and heard it.
Alex, who do you
believe? They blew up Building 7.
Alex, who do you believe was behind it? The American government?
Criminal elements of the military-industrial complex, the same ones that staged Gulf of Tonkin, the same ones that staged the mass shootings of Operation Gladio.
Right.
Ooh, the CIA don't like this now.
Do you mean that President Bush and his administration were behind 9/11?
I mean that even mainstream news reported that the hijackers were ordered to be allowed into the United States. Michael Springman, the head of the visa department, blew the whistle on that.
So the Bush administration was part of a conspiracy.
Well, he should never let us tolerate
to murder.
I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah.
The
but is that
government,
what you believe?
Hitler firebombed his own Reichstag piece to bring in martial law in Germany, April 27th, 1933. Governments have staged terror attacks throughout history or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the populations. I probably own more than 50 firearms. Many of them have increased in value 2, 3, or even 4 times. I sleep very comfortably outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
Okay, Alex Jones. This is
Infowars.com.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
it's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communists.
Want to turn
Bro,
hair
call him a red coat.
loss into hair gains? With Hims, discover a range of prescription treatments.
We don't care.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
it's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
it's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communists.
Whatever. Oh shit.
Value 2, 3 outside Austin, Texas, knowing that I can defend my family.
Okay, Alex Jones. This is
Infowars.com.
This is the man who wants to deport me from the country for wanting to get rid of
it's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back. It's to point out you're a foreigner, a red coat, here telling us what to do.
Whatever.
Go back to where they took the guns if you don't like it. The communists.
Dude said red coat. That's crazy. But yeah, that'll be the last one here. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you have a great rest of your morning, noon, or night, whatever it may be. Thanks for watching. You've been in Dementia D.